Good day. My name is Cor Kramiko. I'm a tax partner in PwC's international tax team in Johannesburg. With me today is my colleague and fellow tax partner, Tony Leung Shing. Anthony is a tax specialist based in our Mauritian office. Anthony, for businesses who invest cross-border, most of us know that every country has got its unique challenges. There are many problems that can be avoided if one knows what to focus on from the start. In Mauritius, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you suggest new investors look at?
Mauritius, as many investors know, is a very business-friendly country. The country is ranked number 1 in terms of ease of doing business in Africa and 32 in the world. Therefore, the general perception is that it's easy to do business in Mauritius. However, as you rightly say, every country has its own unique challenges. The 2 areas where investors should maybe watch out for are first, around company setting up, and secondly, around any transaction involving property. In terms of company setting up, because the general perception is that it's easy to set up business, investors expect companies to set up very quickly within days. However, the process of setting up a company can be quite a tedious process. There are no off-the-shelf companies in Mauritius, and any incorporation would need to start afresh. The documentary requirements, including identification of beneficial owners, certification of individual person, residential address, bank references, sources of funds, all this can take time and needs to comply with local formats. In addition, the administrative aspects also needs to be tailored and factored in, as there may be backlog with the authorities. Some investors even say that we have one of the most heavy KYC and AML procedures compared to other jurisdictions. The second area relates to properties. Foreign owners cannot own properties in Mauritius, except in designated areas such as IRS and RES schemes. Any transaction involving immovable property outside those schemes needs specific approval from the PMO, and this approval is discretionary. Even if approval is granted, the process of registering property thereafter can be cumbersome. With the other need for land surveyor to undertake evaluation, the notary to undertake the relevant checks and deed of registration, all this can be a very lengthy process.
Thanks, Anthony. What are the major challenges for those businesses who've already established and overcome the initial startup phase?
Once a multinational business has been established in Mauritius, I would say the major challenges are around market size and secondly, air connectivity. Mauritius has a population of 1.2 million people, and therefore multinational companies face challenges around growth and scale in Mauritius. Many of our conglomerates look out towards export to generate opportunities and take advantage of the fact that we are within free trade zones such as SADC and COMESA. The local environment can be highly competitive and heavily dependent on imports. The second point relates to air connectivity and flights. Although there are daily flights to certain destinations, Mauritius does not have the same flight connectivity footprint as other hubs as Johannesburg or Nairobi. Reaching to some destination in Africa can be challenging and can take time. Flight connections are typically done via Dubai or Johannesburg.
Okay, but from a tax and administrative perspective, what major challenges or changes are on the horizon?
From a tax standpoint, I see that the major challenge is around the pressures for increasing tax revenue collection. As many countries around the world, the government is facing difficulties around the need to reduce the budget deficit and therefore increase the revenue collection. The current state of affairs has led to a more aggressive tax authorities undertaking more regular tax audits as well as challenge taxpayers' position. An increasing area of controversy is around transfer pricing policies. Although in Mauritius we do not have formal transfer pricing legislation, there is the arm's length concept, and all transactions between related parties need to reflect the market rate. The tax authorities are increasingly challenging multinational companies' transfer pricing policies, and it is important that any documentary evidence are kept to support group transactions, tailored from a Mauritian perspective, and unfortunately, this is not always the case.
Thanks, Anthony. Lastly, there's a lot of talk about the OECD's current focus on BEPS. How do you see this affecting policy in Mauritius?
On the OECD focus on BEPS, Mauritius has already taken proactive steps in order to ensure that companies put more substance in Mauritius. As from 1st of January 2015, the substance condition for maintaining a company in Mauritius has been enhanced, and companies are encouraged to put a physical presence in Mauritius. Indeed, as from 1st of January 2015, the substance condition has been increased, and a company needs to meet one of the following conditions. It has an office space in Mauritius, or it has a full-time employee, or it has investment of more than $100,000 in Mauritius, or it has a reasonable level of expenditure in Mauritius. What we are now seeing is that companies are not only using Mauritius as a pure investment holding jurisdiction, but also using Mauritius to put more functions such as treasury, procurement, shared service centers. BEPS has indeed raised new challenges around the financial centers such as Mauritius, and we've already seen a shift in terms of policy decision making.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. We found that very insightful. And viewers, thank you for joining us today. We hope you found it worthwhile. Until the next time.